So good morning to all. Screen is visible.
Sir,
Okay. So now from the last three sessions, we are discussing unit number three. That is, it is wave generator. And under unit number three, we have seen the section one completely. Section one was actually transistorized oscillators. So we have seen Barkhausen criteria, RC phase shift oscillator, and transistor crystal oscillator. So oscillator is nothing but the output of oscillator will be oscillations, sinusoidal oscillations. All these two oscillators are nothing but sinusoidal oscillations or sinusoidal oscillators. Okay. So now in section B, we will get familiar with the timer IC 555. So it is the name of IC 555 is often it is named as timer IC because it is used for the main application of timer ICs to uh, basically provide you it will provide you at the output it will provide you square wave or you can say rectangular wave. Okay. So we will see what are the applications of timer IC 555. So under this discussion we will see the block diagram and working of IC 555, and these two applications are very important: a stable multivibrator and monostable multivibrator. So in today's discussion we will deal with the point number one, that is we will see what is actually IC 555 and what is its block diagram and how it works. Okay. So this is little bit about timer IC. So the IC 555 is the most versatile IC used by Signetics Corporation in early 1970s. Okay, so first use of this IC was in 1970s. So it is very versatile, and in many projects also, or your final year projects also, most of the students they will use this particular IC 555. It is very important. So it is used in variety of applications such as timer, delay. It is also used to provide a delay, a pulse generation, and oscillators. So there are many projects which are already utilizing the IC 555. So this is the pin configuration of your IC 555 IC. You can see that it has total 8 pins. So whenever you see practically this IC, then you have to start your pin count from this point. It is also called as notch. Okay, so this is notch, and from here, from this circle, you have to start your pin count. So pin count will go like this: pin number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then from bottom to up, from up to bottom on this side, on the left side, and from right side it is from bottom to up, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now pin number 1 is ground, pin number 2 is triggered, 3 is output, 4 is reset, 5 is control voltage, 6 is threshold, 7 is discharge, and 8 is power supply, that is VCC. So we will see what is exactly in this particular IC and what its internal structure will look like. And we will see what are the operations of all these pins one by one. Okay. So now this is very important topic, that is a block diagram of IC 555. So from external appearance of your IC will be like this, but its internal is very important. So this is your internal circuit diagram of your IC, or it is also called as functional block diagram of IC 555. So you can observe, and we will discuss this particular slide for more than 5 to 10 minutes because it is very important. And in today's discussion, you should thoroughly get familiar with this particular structure. Okay, so this is the only objective of our today's discussion, that you should be familiar with this particular functional block diagram. So you have to be very attentive throughout the lecture, and we will be discussing only this functional block diagram because it is very important. And further, also while discussing astable multivibrator or monostable multivibrator, this circuit diagram will again come into the picture. Okay. So now block diagram of IC555 or functional block diagram of IC555 consisting of a voltage divider network formed due to three equal resistors. Now you have to observe this diagram carefully and we will mention the circuit details regarding this. So you can observe here pin number 8. What was your pin number 8? Pin number 8 was your VCC. So this is pin number 8. And pin number 1 is ground. That is, it will be connected to ground. Okay. So between pin number 8, that is VCC, and pin number 1, that is ground, you can observe there are three 5 kilo ohm resistors connected. This is first resistor 5 kilo ohm, this is again 5 kilo ohm, and this is again 5 kilo ohm. Okay, so these points are very important. These are dark circles are here, dark you can see here black dots. So these are nothing but the connections actually. That means your resistor is connected between these 2 points. Second resistor is connected between these 2 points, and third one resistor is connected between ground and this point. So this point of connections are very important. And again, first 5 kilo ohm resistor is connected between VCC and this point. Okay, so I hope you can observe this very clearly that between VCC and ground, total 3 resistors of 5 kilo ohm each is connected. Okay. So in many sources you can observe that they have termed as, since the values of these resistors are 5 kilo ohm, hence this IC is called as 5555 IC555. ऐसे दिया है बहुत सारे sources में, but it is not like that. Okay, so there is no official statement regarding why IC555 is named as 555. But then you can remember like this: 3 5 kilo ohm resistor are connected between VCC and ground. Now what it means is basically total VCC, that is complete voltage VCC, is given across 3 resistors. Okay, that means if I measure the voltage between this point and this point, that is from VCC and ground, the total voltage will be VCC, right? Because it is nothing but VCC is given here. So total voltage from pin number 8 across pin number 8 and pin number 1 is VCC. Now since these 3 resistors are there, so there must be some voltage drop across this resistor. Since there is voltage, current will flow from this resistor. Current always flows from positive to negative. So since current is flowing, there will be some voltage drop across these 3 resistors. Okay, it is clear. But now the question is, how will these voltage drops? So since the values of each resistor is 5 kilo ohm, that is the value of each resistor is equal. That's why this voltage drop will be also equal. So all these 3 voltage drop will be exactly equal, and hence you can say that total VCC voltage is there and it will be getting dropped across 3 resistor. So that means there will be VCC by 3 voltage getting dropped across each resistor, right? So if I measure the voltage between this, I am talking about this last resistor, okay, connected to ground. So if I measure the voltage across this resistor, that means voltage from this point to this point, voltage from this point to this point, this is nothing but a voltage across last one resistor, this resistor. So this voltage will be VCC by 3. Similarly, if I measure the voltage between second resistor, voltage across second resistor, that means voltage between this point and this point, then again it will be VCC by 3. Again, if I measure the voltage across this 5 kilo ohm resistor, that is first one which is connected to VCC, then I will observe that again the value of voltage dropped across this 5 kilo ohm, that is between this point and this point, it will be also VCC by 3, right? So you must understand this, that total VCC voltage was there and you have to divide this VCC voltage by 3. Why? Because the values of these resistors are equal. Unequal hota to we have to calculate, but now there is no need to calculate. Okay, so again I will repeat it for you, that the voltage between this point and ground, it will be VCC by 3. Voltage between this point and this point, it will be also VCC by 3, and voltage between VCC and this point is also VCC by 3. That means VCC by 3 volt is the voltage drop across each resistor. Alright, is it fine? Now, if I measure this voltage with respect to ground, that means if I am making my one point as ground, and suppose I have measured this voltage with respect to ground, that is voltage from this point to this point. So what will be this voltage? अगर मैंने दो पॉइंट के बीच में if I have measured voltage, then what will be this voltage? So this voltage is basically nothing but voltage across 5 kilo ohm. So we are just now represented that each resistor will drop, the voltage drop across each resistor will be VCC by 3. So the voltage drop across this resistor will be VCC by 3. Hence I have written at this particular point, you can observe here, at this point, okay, so at this point the voltage drop with respect to ground will be VCC by 3. Okay, it is very simple. Now if I want to measure the voltage at this particular point with respect to ground, now I am measuring the voltage between these 2 points, this point and between ground. Now what will be the voltage? Can anyone reply?
2 VCC by 3.
Right,
2 VCC by 3.
3.
very good. That means how we have calculated it? So if you observe between these 2 points, there are 2 resistors, and VCC by 3 is the voltage drop across one resistor. So VCC by 3 इसके across का plus VCC by 3 इसके across का. That means total voltage at this particular point will be 2 VCC by 3. Hence I have mentioned 2 VCC by 3 here. Same logic you can apply, and you can find out the voltage between, again I am maintaining first point as ground. Okay, so this ground is common again. Initially I was here, then I was here, and suppose I have taken same logic with respect to this. Now what will be the voltage across these 3? So it will be nothing but the drop across this plus drop across this plus drop across this. That means VCC by 3 plus VCC by 3 plus VCC by 3. That means 3 VCC by 3. So 3 will get cancel, and you will get across this complete resistor network, the voltage will be VCC. Okay, so I hope this is very important, and you should remember this. So we are discussing the block diagram of IC 555, and under that block diagram, this was our first component, that this component That is, it is called as voltage divider network formed due to three equal resistors. So we have analyzed this particular network and we have found out the values at this point. The voltage value of this particular point was VCC by 3, and at that particular point the voltage value will be 2 VCC by 3. Okay, so we are done with this voltage divider network. So you have to remember these 2 points. Now the next main component of your block diagram, you can observe here there are 2 triangles. So these 2 triangles are nothing but op-amp, which are connected without feedback. You can observe there is no feedback given. There is no connection from output to input. That means it is open loop. It is used in open loop configuration, right? So we have already seen the op-amp as a comparator in unit number 2. It was our last topic. So now this is comparator 1. We will call it as comparator 1, and this op-amp we will call it as comparator 2. Alright. Now you have to observe the non-inverting terminal of comparator 1 is called as threshold control. Oh sorry, only threshold. Control voltage niche gaya, okay. So non-inverting terminal of comparator 1 is your threshold pin of your IC, that is pin number 6. Okay. Similarly, inverting pin or inverting input of your comparator 1 is nothing but pin number 5, that is control voltage. So what information you are getting, that pin number 5, that is control voltage, will be always equals to 2 VCC by 3, because you can observe that this pin is connected to 2 VCC by 3. Here there is no connection, okay. There is no connection at this point. So connection means there should be a dot. Without dot, don't assume it is connected. ये जो वायर है रजिस्टर का वो नीचे से जा रहा है, and this particular non-inverting wire is from upward. There is no connection at this point. Alright. So you can see that this non-inverting terminal of comparator 1 is nothing but threshold pin, and inverting terminal of comparator 1 is control voltage, which is set to 2 by 3 VCC. Is it okay? Now similarly you have to just observe, and again the comparator output. This is your comparator output. The output of comparator 1 is connected to S. We will see what is S and what is R and what is this rectangle. Alright. So we are just observing this particular block diagram. So what we have observed, the non-inverting terminal of comparator 1 is threshold pin. Inverting pin of comparator 1 is control voltage pin, and it is set to 2 by 3 VCC. The output terminal of comparator 1 is connected to the S terminal. So this rectangle is nothing called as flip-flop. We will see that. Now similarly you have to observe the input and output for the comparator 2. Okay. So you can observe here non-inverting terminal, that is positive terminal of this op-amp, non-inverting terminal of comparator 2 is connected to the this point. Okay, this point is now fixed. There is no external connection provided. ये जो whatever this dash line is there, dotted line, so it is nothing but a your peripheral or circumference of your IC. Okay, so these all are nothing but your pins. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can observe 8, 7, 3, 4, right? And this circuit is basically the block diagram of your IC. That will be internal part of your IC. So you will not observe this. or you cannot control this. Okay, so the non-inverting terminal is connected internally at the voltage VCC by 3, non-inverting terminal of comparator 2. Okay, now what about inverting terminal of comparator 2? Inverting terminal of comparator 2 is nothing but it is a trigger pin, that is pin number 2. So it is again external pin is provided from the inverting terminal of comparator 2. Non-inverting is fixed to the VCC by 3 voltage and inverting is nothing but trigger input. Okay. Now what is output? Output of comparator 2 is given to the reset terminal of your flip-flop. S stands for set, ACT, and R stands for reset. So S and R are nothing but the two inputs of flip-flop, and Q bar are two outputs of flip-flop. So this rectangle is called as flip-flop. So I hope this comparator part is clear to you now. We are just observing, okay? We are not actually going into the details of working. We are just observing our block diagram and we are just finding out that how many components are there. So we have discussed this resistor network. Then we have discussed the comparator. Okay, so comparator 1, we have called it comparator 1. It is comparator 2, and we are just observing that what are the inputs to this comparator 1 and comparator 2. Okay, so see here, a voltage divider network formed due to 3 equal resistors, then 2 comparators we have discussed, then a flip-flop is there. So this rectangle is nothing called as flip-flop. So we will discuss the functioning of flip-flop in more detail in unit number 4. First topic of your unit number 4, that is digital electronics section. The first unit itself is nothing but flip-flop. Okay, so we will see that. So just for now, you can assume that flip-flop has two inputs. This flip-flop is nothing but SR flip-flop. So this flip-flop has two inputs. One is S and second is R, and it will have two outputs, Q and Q bar. And Q and Q bar are always will be complementary to each other. Okay, that means if the value of Q, now we have gone into the digital term. Okay, so this is digital electronics, means input and output value will be either 0 or 1, right? So again, flip-flop has two inputs and two outputs. Just remember like this. And anytime you can reset this flip-flop by applying pin number 4. By using pin number 4, you can reset this particular flip-flop. Then there is a discharge transistor. So this transistor, which is this transistor, NPN or PNP? Anyone?
NPN.
NPN.
Right. So this transistor is NPN. Why? Because this arrow is outward. अगर ये invert होता तो that will be PNP. So this transistor, NPN transistor, is called as discharge transistor. Q suffix D. Right? We will see why it is called as discharge after a while. So the output of flip-flop, one of the output of flip-flop, that is Q, is connected to the base of this transistor, that is discharge transistor, through, let's say, one resistor. So this output Q is basically driving your transistor. And you can observe the emitter terminal is grounded and collector terminal of this discharge transistor is nothing but discharge pin of your IC, right? And the other output of flip-flop, that is Q bar, it is nothing but the output pin of your IC 555. Okay, so this is your output. From this pin you will get the output. That is pin number 3 is nothing but the output pin of your IC 555. So I hope I have just taken an overview of all these three components, that is which component is what and what is the use of this component. Very primary discussion is there, so nothing hard is there. Okay, so we have not discussed the working of each component yet, but we have just described all the components. So I will again for once more time repeat this particular block diagram. So you can observe here that the block diagram consists of these many components. First component is voltage divider network. So we have observed voltage divider network. That means the network formed due to these three resistors. These three resistors are nothing but 5 kilo ohm resistor each, and the voltage drop across each resistor is VCC by 3. So the voltage drop across this point with respect to ground will be VCC by 3, and of this point will be 2 VCC by 3. Then second component is two comparator, comparator 1, comparator 2. We have seen the output, and we have also seen the inputs and outputs of comparator. We have just observed the connections. Okay. Then there is flip flop. Flip flop is having two input terminals S and R, and output terminals are Q and Q bar. Then this Q bar is nothing but output of your IC 555. Again, one reset is given so that at any time this flip flop will reset, and so is your IC will reset. Okay. Then the discharge transistor is there. So this discharge transistor is driven by the output of SR flip flop, that is Q output of your SR flip flop, and the collector terminal of this discharge transistor is nothing but discharge pin of IC 555. So this is regarding the description of this functional block diagram of IC 555. Now you must be familiar with all the components and all the pins. You can observe here all the 8 pins are mentioned. Pin number 1, pin number 2, pin number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay. So if there is any question regarding this in this particular slide, then I will just wait for a couple of minutes. Then you can just go through it one more time, and you can ask me. Okay. So I will just wait a couple of minutes here on this slide. Okay, so we shall move ahead. We will be visiting this functional block diagram repeatedly. Okay, so don't worry about it. Role of QD. Yes, we have not right now. We are just describing our circuit. So what are the role and functions of all these components? We will see one by one. Okay, because same block diagram we will be discussing in the next two topics also, stable and monostable multivibrator as well. So at the end the role of everything will be clear to you. So this is just a basic component details or component description. So these are few points which I have already explained to you, but we will go one by one. The voltage divider consists of three identical 5 kilo ohm resistors which create two reference voltages at 1 by 3 and 2 by 3 of supplied voltages. So this point is basically talking about VCC by 3 and 2 VCC by 3 points. That is these 2 points. Then next are 2 comparators. A comparator is a circuit element that compares 2 analog input voltages. So what is comparator? Comparator is a circuit element that compares 2 analog input voltages. Which 2 input voltages? The input voltages given at the input of comparator. 2 input voltages at its positive, that is non-inverting terminal, and negative, that is inverting input terminal. Means what will these comparators do? It will compare the values on positive terminal and negative terminal, and it will give output accordingly. Okay. So if the input voltage of the positive terminal, that is positive is nothing but non-inverting terminal, okay, always remember, and negative is nothing but inverting input terminal. So this is regarding the working of comparator. If the input voltage at positive terminal is higher than the input voltage at negative terminal, then the comparator output will be 1. Okay. Whereas if the voltage at negative input terminal is higher than voltage at positive terminal, then the comparator output will be 0. So now here you can observe that the comparator output, that means this part, this pin, that is output pin of comparator 1 and comparator 2, will have only 2 values, either 0 or 1. So the output of comparator 1, or for that matter any comparator, the output will be 0 when negative voltage, the voltage at negative terminal is greater than voltage at positive terminal, and the output of comparator will be 1 when voltage at positive terminal is greater than voltage at negative terminal. Is this simple? अगर आपके पॉजिटिव टर्मिनल का वोल्टेज अगर निगेटिव से ज़्यादा है तो आपका कंपेरेटर का आउटपुट बन जाएगा 1. बोथ कंपेरेटर्स, फॉर बोथ कंपेरेटर्स सेम लॉजिक, ओके. और निगेटिव टर्मिनल का वोल्टेज अगर ज़्यादा है देन पॉजिटिव टर्मिनल, देन द आउटपुट विल बिकम 0. Okay, so I got one feedback, voice is breaking. Is it clear now? Or is there any problem? My voice is clear. Clear, okay. All right. So the logic we have used in finding out the output of comparator is very simple, that the comparator output will be either 0 or 1. अब 1 कब होगा output? When the voltage at positive terminal is greater than voltage at negative terminal, then the output will be 1. And if the voltage at negative terminal is greater than voltage at positive terminal, then output will be 0. So this is very simple working of your comparator. The same working is mentioned in these 2 points. Vice versa, if the voltage at the negative input terminal is higher than voltage at positive terminal, then comparator will output 0. Okay. Now, the first comparator negative input is connected to the 2/3 reference voltage at the voltage divider. That is, it is talking about the first comparator negative input terminal. You can observe here. The first comparator negative input terminal is fixed to 2/3 VCC, and externally it is called as control voltage pin. So same point it is mentioned here. The first comparator negative input terminal is connected to 2/3 reference voltage, and external, it is nothing but a control voltage pin, while the positive input terminal to the external threshold pin. You can observe here, negative of comparator 1 is fixed to 2/3 VCC, and externally it is called as control voltage pin. Similarly, non-inverting input is nothing but threshold pin. So same point we have already discussed. Then there are again few points. On the other hand, the second comparator negative input terminal is connected to trigger pin. So we will again go back to the block diagram. You can observe here, the negative pin of comparator 2 is connected to the trigger, right, and positive is connected to the VCC by 3. So same point is mentioned here. The second comparator negative input terminal is connected to trigger pin, while positive input terminal to 1/3 reference voltage at the voltage divider. So 1/3 reference voltage is nothing but VCC by 3. Okay. So using the 3 pins, that is trigger, threshold and control voltage, we can control the output of 2 comparators, which are then fed to the R and S inputs of flip-flop. So what this point is basically mentioning is, by controlling these 3 pins, because these pins are available to us, because these are nothing but the external pins of your IC. So by controlling the pin number 2, pin number 5 and pin number 6, you can control the output of these comparators, both comparators. Okay, and these output of comparators are given as an input to this flip-flop. So basically you are controlling the comparator output as well as output of your flip-flop as well. And basically output of flip-flop is nothing but again discharge and output pins. So these 3 pins are used to control the working of your IC 555. So always remember, these 3 pins are very important. Means by the observation that, or by controlling pin number 2, 5 and 6, you can control the output of your IC 555. Okay. Now flip-flop has 2 outputs which are complementary to each other, that is Q and Q bar. We have seen the output of flip-flop. Flip-flop will have 2 inputs, R and S, and output is also, it will have 2 output, that is Q and Q bar. So now always remember, the values of this Q and Q bar will be always complement to each other. अगर एक की वैल्यू 1 होगी तो दूसरे की वैल्यू will be 0. If Q equals to 1, then Q bar will be 0, and if Q equals to 0, then Q bar will be 1. It will not happen that the both values of Q and Q bar are same. Okay, so always remember this point. The values of Q and Q bar will be always complementary to each other. That means if the value of Q is 1, then the value of Q bar is 0, and if the value of Q is 0, then the value of Q bar is 1. But now when value of Q will be 1 and 0, so just operation of flip-flop is mentioned here. When value of R input, okay, so when R equals to 1, then what happens? Q becomes equals to 0 and Q bar will be 1. Similarly, when S becomes 1, then Q bar equals, or Q becomes 1 and Q bar is equals to 0. तो बेसिकली होता क्या है कि आपका जब R इनपुट हाई होता है, दैट इज R इक्वल्स टू 1, then your flip-flop will reset its output. And whenever we reset something, you might have known that whenever we reset something, it will again start from 0. So you can remember this by using this analogy, that when your reset input is high, Q will be 0. And once Q will be 0, Q bar will be 1. Don't remember these two values. Okay, just you can remember the value of Q only. Because if the value of Q is 0, then uska complement hoga Q bar ki value. So remember like this, if the reset input is high, then the value of Q is 0. And if the set input is equals to 1 or set input is high, then the value of Q will be 1. Since Q bar is complement to Q, then its value will be 0. Is it clear? Are you following me? Or is there any problem? Okay. Additionally, flip-flop can be reset via external pin called as reset. So this external pin is given, it is called as reset. Don't get confused between this reset and this reset. So this reset is not accessible to you. This set reset is not accessible to you. Is it? No, because it is internally connected. These 8 pins are only accessible to you because IC 555 has these 8 pins. So in order to control this particular flip-flop, this pin number 4 is called as reset. And when you apply a signal to it, then automatically this flip-flop will be reset, because you can observe that input and output of both these flip-flop, input as well as output, are nothing but internal. So how will you access that? So that's why they have given one terminal dedicated to this flip-flop. All right. So what will happen if you press this reset, or if you connect the ground to the reset, then whatever will be your input, so this pin will reset the entire timer at any time. So since we are calling our IC 555 as a timer IC, ना जैसे टाइमर लगाते हो, फोटो वगैरह खींचते ना, whenever we are capturing a photo, then we many times we do utilize this feature, right? Timer feature. So same feature is nothing but your IC 555. It is also called as timer. So what happens when you externally apply reset, then that timer will be cancelled. That timer will be again moved to 0. The flip-flop value will be 0. The last point is the Q bar output of flip-flop is nothing but the output pin. Yes, we have already said that the Q bar output of flip-flop is nothing but output of your IC 555. The same is mentioned here. The Q bar output of flip-flop is nothing but output pin. The output of the flip-flop is also connected to a transistor that connects the discharge pin to the ground. The output pin of flip-flop is also connected to transistor. So he is talking about this output pin. One output of flip-flop is nothing but output pin of your IC 555, and another output is given to the discharge transistor, and this pin is called as discharge pin. So these are just the description. Again, circuit description we have just discussed about. Now we will see the working of, or the function of pin configuration of IC 555. So pin number 1, it is ground. Pin number 1 is ground, so its function is nothing but all voltages are measured with respect to this terminal only. So you have to connect ground, external ground, that is 0 volt. So generally this pin is connected to the 0 volt. Remember, like this. And all voltages are measured with respect to 0. Okay. Then pin number 2. Pin number 2 is trigger. So the IC555 has two comparators. Yes, we know that. The voltage divider consists of three equal resistances. Due to voltage divider, the voltage of non-inverting terminal of comparator 2 is fixed to VCC by 3. Due to voltage divider, the non-inverting terminal of comparator 2 is fixed to VCC by 3. Now what is the role of trigger here? So if you give negative pulse to this trigger, let's say the input you have given negative pulse. Suppose this is 1 level, logic 1, and this is 0. So now since this IC is nothing but a digital IC, so whatever discussion will be there, now यहाँ पे input output क्या होगा, एक तो 1 नहीं तो 0. Okay, so digital domain है यहाँ पे IC का, so that's why input will be either 0 or 1. So if I given this negative pulse to the trigger, let's say this one is nothing but the value of this one level is nothing but VCC. Okay, so VCC is high value and low level is 0. This is high level, it is equals to VCC. Just let me rewrite big for you. Suppose trigger is given as negative pulse. The level, high level is called as VCC and low level is called as 0 volt. So when I give such type of trigger, then what will happen? A moment will come when the voltage at this point will be less than VCC by 3. है ना, सपोज ये जो आपका लेवल है अगर ये VCC by 3 है, दैट मीन्स व्हाट, यहाँ पे कहीं पे तो भी VCC by 2 VCC by 3 आएगा, यहाँ पे कहीं पे तो भी VCC by 3 आएगा. And the moment when your input or when your trigger becomes less than VCC by 3, then what will happen to the comparator 2? At that particular point, that is when your trigger is less than VCC by 3, at that point what will happen? The output of comparator will be 1. Again I am repeating, when the trigger you are giving as negative pulse, that is pulses which is going from VCC to 0. ओके, तो ये VCC से जब आप 0 पे जा रहे हो तो ये जो वैल्यू है वो कम कम होते जाएगी ना अलोंग दिस वे, और एक पॉइंट आएगा जब ये वैल्यू VCC by 3 से कम होगी 0 की तरफ जाते वक्त, राइट. सो एट दैट मोमेंट क्या होगा? फॉर दिस कंपैरेटर द वोल्टेज एट नेगेटिव टर्मिनल विल बी लेस देन वोल्टेज एट पॉजिटिव टर्मिनल. VCC by 3 से इन्वर्टिंग का जो वोल्टेज है वो कम हो जाएगा, सो आउटपुट क्या हो जाएगा आपका 1. ओके, ऑलराइट. तो जैसे ही अगर ये आउटपुट 1 हो गया, लेट से आपने एक ट्रिगरिंग किया, ट्रिगर दिया नेगेटिव पल्स आपका, ड्यू टू द नेगेटिव pulse trigger, what happens? The output of comparator 2 becomes 1, and when this output becomes 1, this 1 will be given to the reset input. So when your reset will be equals to 1, what will be the value of Q? Q will be 0. And what will be the value of Q bar? Q bar will be 1. So what will be the output of your IC555? It will be 1. and here we know that 0 is nothing but, that means base, there will be no base current. So we are using this transistor in as a switch, so either it will be in cutoff or saturation. So whenever this base terminal is given to 0, it will be in cutoff. Okay, so this transistor will be off state. So don't worry, we will see this block diagram many times, so don't worry about it, but just try to recollect all the things. These are very interconnected. By just mere applying a trigger here, you can observe, since this trigger is less than VCC by 3, then what happens? The comparator output becomes 1, but the comparator output is given to the reset input. So when reset becomes 1, the output Q becomes 0 and Q bar will be 1. So we will get the IC output as 1. 1 is nothing but your high pulse, like this. And since this is 0, your transistor will be in cutoff region. That means your transistor will act as an open switch. So just remember this concept. We will be repeating this concept many times, so don't worry about it. If you are not getting it right now, it will be clear to you. So we will again go to the pin number 2, that is trigger. So just now we have discussed the inverting input of comparator 2 is nothing but the trigger input, and when trigger input is slightly less than VCC by 3, what happens? The comparator 2 output will become high. This output is given to the reset input of flip-flop, which will reset the flip-flop. So this is the function of trigger input, right? Then pin number 3 is output pin. The complementary signal output, that is Q bar of flip-flop, is nothing but output of your IC 555. So you can observe your output of IC 555 by using this pin, output pin. Then pin number 4 is reset. So whenever you want to interrupt your timer, then you have to simply apply the reset, and what will happen, that your timer will be reset. Okay, so it acts as a interrupt. तो अगर आपने एक आध प्रोग्रामिंग किया है और आपका सर्किट यूज़ हो रहा है यहाँ पे, यू आर यूजिंग योर IC 555 एज अ टाइमर देयर, but you don't want, you want your circuit to be called off, then in that case you have to just give signal to the reset and your timer will be called off. Okay, then pin number 5 is control voltage. This is the inverting pin of comparator 1. The voltage divider holds the voltage at the input of 2/3 VCC. So we have already seen this, that control voltage is nothing but a inverting pin of comparator 1 and its voltage is fixed to the 2/3 VCC. Then pin number 6 is threshold. This is non-inverting pin of comparator 1. Yes, we have seen that. The external voltage is applied to this pin. When this voltage becomes more than 2/3 VCC, the comparator 1 goes to high output, which will set the flip-flop. Now we will see, we will go back again. So what this point tells you, that if the voltage at, so pin number 6 is external pin, so you can apply any voltage to this pin number 6. So let's say I have applied a high voltage here at pin number 6. Okay, so I have applied this high voltage, that is having upper positive level or high level as VCC, and this is 0. Low level is called as 0 and high level is VCC. So at this particular point, one moment will come when the voltage will be greater than 2/3 VCC, है ना? While going from 0 to VCC, अब 0 to VCC तक जब आप वैल्यू ये बढ़ेगी, तब एक इंस्टेंट आएगा यहाँ पे when your voltage will be greater than 2 by 3 VCC, obviously, right? So at that particular point, what will happen? The voltage at pin number 6 will be greater than voltage at pin number 5, because voltage at pin number 5 is fixed, that is 2 by 3 VCC. So जब आप हाई इनपुट दोगे तो तब क्या होगा? द वोल्टेज एट पिन नंबर 6 विल बी ग्रेटर देन वोल्टेज एट पिन नंबर 5. That means voltage at positive terminal will be greater than voltage at negative terminal. So what will be the output? What will be the output of comparator 1? Anyone? So again I am repeating. Right, I have got one feedback as the output will be 1. So since the potential or the voltage at non-inverting will be greater than inverting, the output will be 1. So since the output becomes 1, what will happen? This output is nothing but a input to this flip-flop. So now set, this flip-flop will set. Set is nothing but the value of Q becomes 1. Because S input is high, no? अगर reset high होता तो Q की value 0 रहती. But now set is high, that is the value of S is 1. So that means Q will be 1 and Q bar will be 0. So the output of your IC 555 will be now 0. That means low pulse, low level, like this. Now talking about discharge transistor, since this value is 1, or you can also call it as high, then what will happen? This transistor, I have already told you, this transistor is working as a switch. So either it will be in cutoff or saturation. So now in this case it will be in saturation. Saturation means this transistor will act as a short circuit. So hence current will flow through this transistor. In earlier case it was cut off. That means it was open circuit. No current was flowing. Okay. So we will again see this concept one more time. We will just wrap up our discussion here. So this is about pin number 6. So by applying external voltage to pin number 6, you can change the output. Right. So now just 2 pins are remaining. Pin number 7 is discharge. This pin is connected to the collector of discharge. We have seen that. Discharge pin is nothing but a collector of the transistor QD. When Q is low, then the transistor is off. When Q is low or Q equals to 0, then the transistor will be off, that is it will be in cutoff state and it acts as a open circuit. But when Q is high, that is suppose the value of Q is 1 and transistor is, then the transistor becomes on, that is in saturation state, and it will act as a short circuit. So we have just now discussed this. And the last is pin number 8, which is nothing but a supply pin, that is supply is given plus VCC is given on the pin number 8. Okay, so these are about the pin configuration of IC 555. I will again forward this PPT to you. Just go through this complete block diagram, and then we will utilize this knowledge while explaining the stable multivibrator and monostable multivibrator topics. It will be very useful for us. Okay, so we will conclude our discussion, today's discussion here. If you are having any doubt, then you can ask me. Otherwise, we will conclude the session. Thank you.